What job do you think is so overpaid? Let me know in the comments below. I am here for a potential change of career. One night I babysat 3 kids for about 2 hours or so. The kids went to bed when I got there, and the parents had left dinner out for me. So all I did was eat their food and watch their TV and pet their dogs. When they got home, the mom paid me $100. I told her that was way too much. She slurred, "Don't worry about it. I'm drunk." And then I noticed her fly was down. So that was the most overpaid job ever, lol. Honestly, most celeb positions, pro athletes, singers, actors, etc. Before you respond, I understand the literal mechanics of a capitalist market. I understand that they command those wages through their craft, by being the best in a very competitive and limited market. I get the supply and demand of it all. I'm just saying. Mahomes getting like $40 million per year just to throw a ball around in a game, when a top surgeon saving actual lives makes like $500,000. Yeah, that's a silly overpay, and I'm a huge football fan. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's just a game, just entertainment, not that serious. Hospital CEOs, and actually almost all hospital upper management. There are so many layers of management that many of them barely step foot into a healthcare facility ever, let alone ever speak to a patient. Yet all of them make 6, 7, 8-figure salaries plus mega bonuses. My hospital network CEO makes $11 million salary not including bonuses. Which bothers me. But bothers me even more are all the board members and shit directly under him making nearly as much. It's hundreds of millions of wasted money paid to the people trying to screw staff out of good pay, and screwing patients into paying big bills. Realtors. South Park episode summed up how easy the job can be. Celebrities and influencers. At 4 hours. A lot of people are saying influencers but don't realize most of them are broke and it's just a fabricated image. Politicians. I'd understand if they made things better, but they generally fuck over the working class, which is the majority of the country, yet give themselves huge bonuses and expenses as though they have done a brilliant job. NFT merchant and shitcoin traders. Professional athletes could take a massive pay cut. I'd also cut politicians' pensions. Reddit mods. Oh wait, they don't get paid, they work for free. The NFL. Not the players, but the not-for-profit, that is the NFL and all the team owners. Professional athletes and top-shelf actors. Real estate agents. Especially for buyers. Literally every piece of information a buyer's agent can give you is readily available on Redfin. Their only real responsibility is to unlock the front door and provide a checklist of things that need to be done before closing, which is exactly the same for 95% of purchases. For this, they get paid 2 to 3% of the purchase price, meaning it's in their best interest for you to buy the most expensive house possible. Just about any CEO. Private military contractors. They get paid significantly more than actual troops and are far less accountable. Politicians and footballers. IT consultants. I'm about to get $100K USD a year. And that's 37.5 work weeks and about 30 days of vacation per year. Human resources. Politicians. And 5 hour ago, influencers, and those celebs that doesn't do anything. Amaranth makes several million a month being what is essentially a porn star. Not saying she shouldn't make decent money, but she makes more than pro athletes, the president, a lot of CEOs, etc., and provides nothing more than wank material. Impressive? Yes. Overpaid? Yes. Most upper management in an office setting. I have had jobs where I have multiple bosses and only one really understands what the people that work for them actually do. British prince. Congress face with rolling eyes, face with rolling eyes, face with rolling eyes. Since we're talking athletes, I'd say the sports team's owners are way overcompensated. Just as one example, owners often blackmail cities into paying for new stadiums with tax dollars rather than making those renovations themselves. Hedge fund manager. All of the unproductive wealthy. Those that do not create jobs but just move money around. Hedge managers. Portfolio managers. Lenders. Etc. If being a billionaire means you employ 300,000 people, so be it. If you just make everything more expensive for everyone else and take a cut, you are unproductive. Wealthy in, essentially, just excess biomass that would be worth more to society as fertilizer. Real estate agents. Quite a bit of people in these comments that have extremely distorted perspectives on what some of their hated professions really do. LMAO. Mine. I am so unproductive recently. Tired. Here comes the people who do not understand business pretending people who run a large corporation shouldn't get paid largely. Congress. Actors and politicians. WAAAAAY too much. OnlyFans and influencers. Socialites. Why do we have people who have never worked a day in their life getting millions on investments they didn't make when others need 3 to 4 jobs just to keep a roof over their head? That's always the explanation, but still not a great one. Even if the surgeon started working when they were 12 until their 85th birthday, would they have made the 40 meters the athlete earns for 1 year? Being the CEO of Amazo. Brain surgeons. Like, bro, just put some Flex Seal on that shit. Being a TikToker. IDK if that even consider a Joe. Real estate agents. Realto. Anybody who says athletes don't understand that if they make less, that just means billionaire owners make more. I was 8 when I realized that. What's more amazing than one person making $20 million per year is the single person at the top who signs the check for everyone on a $200+ million per year payroll. CEO. Professional sports. Politicians should make minimum wage. A lot of stuff like travel and housing is already provided for. Many of them have residuals from book deals and speaking engagements. It's not like most of them need their office salary. And if they think minimum wage is too low for themselves to live off, then they should raise it for everyone. CEOs of public companies which fail to earn a reasonable return on equity. Zero reason they should be paid millions of dollars. Professional stock traders can make or lose a ton of money, so they aren't necessarily overpaid. But the whole idea of making money off trading stocks is kind of ridiculous. You are essentially moving money around, offering no tangible product, and yet you can win big. It's institutional gambling. Congressmen. CEOs. Like, I think the CEO of a publicly traded corp should make significantly more than rank and file employees. But like 10x their salary. Not 900x. That's just exploitation. Software engineer. Actors. Footballers. By a comedic margin. Football player. CEOs of companies. There's no earthly reason the CEO of a company like Target deserves $80 million in total compensation when his employees make $15 in who? Senators and really any political position. If all our representatives are rich, how the fuck do they represent us? How do they represent the poor? If 75% of the population makes less than $100K a year and senators make twice that, then only 25% is being represented. Someone who makes $190,000 a year has very little in common with someone who makes $50,000 a year in regards to daily struggle and living paycheck to paycheck. I think overpaid is a flawed term since cost mostly is determined by supply, demand. Things we'd call too expensive are either too high demand or too low in supply, or both. I would say there is too high of a demand for hearing an e-girl say your Twitch name. Like, come on guys, they don't give a single fuck about you. Go outside and strike up a damn conversation. If my introverted ass can do it, so can you. Then a girl might actually say your IRL name to IRL you for free. Stop throwing money at girls for sitting there making hundreds of dudes feel like they're having interactio. CEO of most companies. Career politicians. All the ones at the State of the Union. I was recently a juror in a civil case where someone was trying to get money out of someone else from an accident. In my state you have to have sustained a permanent injury in order to be awarded anything, so both sides hired medical experts to provide testimony about the injury. As part of the video testimony, they ask the doctors various questions like how many times they've done surgeries for injuries like this in order to prove they are experts. All well and fine. Of course, the doctors then proceeded to provide completely opposite opinions based on who hired them. Then they asked them how much they are being paid for the testimony. Both doctors said $1,000 an hour with a minimum of 5 hours. Both doctors said they record these kinds of testimonies several times a month. Both doctors said they no longer practice or do surgeries because they spend all their time making these videos. These guys get paid hundreds of thousands a year. Maybe millions. Just to say they agree with whichever side hired them, so as a juror it's up to us to decide who to believe on our own with zero medical training. Realtors. VO. Professional athlete. Congress should be a minimum wage job. Sports, it's just a fucking gam. Political figures, most of them have assistants doing all the work. American CEOs. Pro athlete. Professional athletes. Corporate. Companies pay premium price to advertise their products during TV commercials, products endorsement, etc. Then they have to get money back somehow by raise the price on their products to consumers like us. So consumers have to pay expensive tickets for sport, event, concert, movies tickets, cable subscription, expensive shoes, many more. Then we got 50 cents an hour raise every 2 to 3 years when rent, food, gasoline, utility are increasing faster than our living wage. Who hurt the most are laborer people. American CEO or corporate business own. I'm just saying this because I'm jealous, but streamers like they be getting 100K plus a month for playing video games, and don't get me started on the females who do OnlyFans like Amaranth. I heard she made 1 meter in a month because of Twitch and OnlyFans. Wish I could have an easy life like that, but no welding it. Most higher level managers, like executives, they deadass just pay people to do the jobs I always thought they did. Wasn't until I tried my hand in data analytics that I realized I don't actually know what the fuck they do aside from sign off on stuff. The people under them are the ones that do the heavy lifting and make it so all the executives have to do is functionally click a button. So the people under them get the ball rolling on the good ideas they came up with, while their bosses get jerked off by Forbes for having their face associated with the business. It's so perplexing, because people who have literally zero experience with executives tell you how hard they work. They're just regurgitating bullshit that was fed to them by some other executive. LMAO. I'm sure some are better than others, but most don't do shit. They've got people for that, which is kind of fucked up, since 99.5% of them had absolutely zero part in building the behemoths they work for. They just reap the rewards of the seed some dead guy planted 60 years ago. Scrum Master. Influencers Definitel. Politicians. No real value for money. In fact, these fuckers should be paying us and not the other way about. Nest of scheming bastards that couldn't agree on the color of shite. Every single government job. They don't have to bring in money to pay for supplies or labor. They don't have to provide quality service in order to maintain a bottom line or keep customers. If they spend their entire budget, they get more money to work with, or at least maintain the money they get for free from taxes. This results in people constantly getting a raise regardless of performance. More weeks off paid than any other position. government-only days off, and a work environment where there are almost zero expectations. Any government-run business or service would go bankrupt immediately if they were forced to earn the money they take in. After high school, when I was job hunting, I was strolling around on Indeed when I seen a job opportunity to be a dog poop scooper. You literally drove around in a company van going to big homes scooping people's dogs' turds for 20 something an hour. I was in shock and almost applied immediately. Any sort of celebrity work, especially in the movie biz. Why is $4 million considered low? What job do you think is so overpaid? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more.